Hello.
Hey, we're live.
They want your princess wave.
Oh, Princess Wave.
Yeah, we'll do our princess wave today.
Princess Wave.
So, how's everybody doing? We missed you last night. Do you want to explain why?
Yes, it was partially my fault. There is a guy that is in the fantasy league that every year he has something going on he can't draft. So he pays the money, he manages the team, but then he asks me to draft the team, and the draft was taking forever last night. I kept looking at the clock, thinking I got to get home, but they just kept going slower and slower. So
we didn't get home till about 10:30, something like that.
Nope.
And so we didn't get to come live last night. So
No, we did not. So here we are tonight.
we apologize.
We are laboring on Labor Day.
And then we got watching a show and realized it was
A little bit after. Yes.
9:08, and
yes. We were watching a show and I got hooked and totally forgot the time. So yeah. Yes, indeed.
So
So
what do we have to talk about? We had a football game Saturday.
we had a scrimmage, yep.
And that went well.
Yeah, I wish there could have been more people there to watch it. You know what I mean? You look in the stands and there's a handful of people and it's just, it's...
Did you hear how many tickets they had given out? I heard there was about 200 people there with all the kids and both sides and everything.
Yeah,
so.
probably.
Yeah.
Yep.
It seemed pretty empty.
It did seem empty.
But it was nice that the boys got to play.
It was. It was. And Canton did pretty well. I mean, we did very well against Sarah, I thought. I don't know if, I don't know. I think our kids have put a lot of time in and stuff. I have no idea how much Sarah put in, and Sarah lost a lot of good athletes from last year. They still have a lot of good athletes, but they lost a lot from last year, so.
You said you thought they were going to have a good team this year.
I think they will.
Yeah.
I think that they are a little rusty yet. Give them a couple weeks and they'll be really good, I think. So, yeah, it was nice to see Carter back on the field. He hadn't played in a while,
Yeah,
so.
It was really nice to see Carter on the
We
field.
did have a issue with Carter, though, on
Oh, you did?
Friday night.
Yes.
Friday night, I get home.
That was Friday night.
I get home, I pull in the driveway, and I get a call. And I'm like, what does Coach Wilbur went? He's like, I think you need to come back down to the school. So I'm like, oh, crap. Did Carter get hurt in the end of practice or something like that? And they're like, Carter passed out. I'm like, what? Didn't know what it was. So I went down, and it had happened to him before. He was really thirsty, probably didn't eat much that day, and he chugged a bunch of water and passed out. And it had happened once to him before in 8th grade when he was losing weight for wrestling and stuff. But he was fine 15 seconds later and this and that, but hadn't had any issues since that. So played in the scrimmage and did fine. So I don't know.
In the meantime, he scared me half to death because I was having an impromptu ladies' night. We were watching Esther on Sight and Sound. So literally Thursday night, I said, why don't you guys come over and we'll watch Esther Friday night. So I had a couple ladies here, and all I saw was Craig's truck pull in and then pull right back out. He never called me. Nobody called me.
I didn't want to scare you.
Nobody called me.
I thought I'd go down and check out on it, and then I'd come home and we'd talk about it. I didn't want you all panicked while I was going down.
I waited a few minutes and I called him, and then that's when he told me that Carter had passed out. So.
Yep.
Then I sat here and worried until they got back.
Yep.
And then when I got back, I basically shoved Gatorade, water, food, everything down Carter's throat. Not really. But I was just like, drink, eat.
Yep.
He hadn't eaten breakfast. The school's lunches are very small now. And he hadn't drank water all day. Mm-hmm. So, needless to say, Mama Bear has been making him drink Gatorade and water all weekend and making sure he's been eating healthy. Mm-hmm. And,
So, that was interesting.
Lovely.
Yep.
And Saturday night, we had Miss Paisley over and Connor and Taylor.
Yes, we did.
And Paradise was here.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Paisley is clapping her hands now.
Until you tried to get me
to... Until I tried to show you that she was clapping her hands, and then she wouldn't
hands.
clap her hands.
So, yes. That's usually how it works. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So Vic had a comment here. She said, "Why, if it's outside, is there so much restriction on the number of people? It's sad."
It's very sad. I have no idea. I mean, we could have easily.
So they are in New York State. I don't know what the rules are in New York State, Vic, that
in
are different.
Pennsylvania, it's 250. But I mean, our field is so open and stuff. You can see from so many places. I think you could probably do 400 in social distance. To be honest with you, I really do.
This is a ordinance from
The governor.
The governor is saying that Vic, if you're at a sporting event, there can only be 250 people, and that includes the players, the coaches, the referees, the people that run the clock. That includes all of those people.
The band, the cheerleaders.
Yes. So volleyball is even worse. Volleyball is only 25
I feel
people
so bad for volleyball.
in the gymnasium. So
25 total people. That's
again,
counting the teams, the coaches, the referees, the scorekeepers.
Right. Again,
everything.
in Pennsylvania right now, I believe that restaurants are still held to 25% capacities. Our school districts, so in this same building that this volleyball game is happening, there are 600 kids that go there. I think about 10% of our kids are staying home and learning virtually. And I heard that Troy is about the same. So about 10% of their kids are staying home learning virtually. Meanwhile, all of these kids are in the school building, but yet the restriction is only 25 volleyball players and only 250
in a gym.
In a gym.
You ever see how big a gym is? Do you know how easily you can spread out 25 people? Besides the players. I'm talking if you count the players and stuff, there's like nobody in the stands.
Right. And you could social distance. Like, that's what I was starting to say, is a lot of the restaurants and the other places are 25% capacity.
Right.
So if you went to 25% capacity in a gymnasium, that's more than 25 people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm going to say it's probably more like 100.
We could probably hold 600 in our gym, right?
I'm just guessing. I'm totally guessing. And then outside, we can easily social distance. People can sit in their car. I don't understand, but those are the restrictions as of right now.
They have a bill that went through the House.
That there were some questions about that.
That the districts could, there was a question about it.
Vic said in New York, they're not even playing, so we are very grateful that we're allowed to play. That is one thing that we are grateful for. Jen Lehman says, so with the 250 in place, were there 250 people there? No, there was about 200, Jen. 200, I think they were kind of piloting how this was all going to work. So I don't know if they wanted to push the full 250 limit. But there was about 200 there from what I was told. I don't know that for sure. Daniel Putnam is saying he hopes that Timmy will be okay.
Yeah, I think everybody does. Probably not too much. I mean, he's going to see the doctor tomorrow, so
yeah. So we're all praying and hoping.
And
for good news tomorrow.
It wasn't like where there was a big pile of people or anything like that. It was just one of those things. He was running and it happened. I mean, he wasn't even hit. You know what I mean? So they're ones you don't like, but we'll find out more tomorrow. So. He's determined, but we'll see. He
is determined. He's very determined. So we're all hopeful and praying that it's something minor. Tiffany Ostrander, what is your thoughts on HB 2787? Do you think it will pass the Senate?
I hope so. I think it will pass the Senate, but then I think it's going to be vetoed by Wolf, but he has 10 days to think on it, so that takes it another almost 2 weeks. And then if he vetoes that, then it's going to go through another vote in the House, and I think it's just going to be drug out. So, okay.
Sorry. My yawn. Jen said she knows that that's everyone included, but she's asking, okay, are we allowing visitors to have tickets as well, or just can? So at the scrimmage...
Go ahead.
At the scrimmage, it was just Canton parents that were given tickets, and that was it. And then each school is going to have to decide for themselves as we either travel there or as schools come to Canton. I do know that they really very clearly said that the scrimmage was kind of a pilot program, that they may not do it that way the next time. So I think just some things are going to be adjusted throughout all of this. So
I'm not sure if they decided yet. I think that they're, discussing with other districts and stuff and seeing what is, the most appropriate, you know what I mean? You have kids in other teams that are seniors, so that's a tough thing. But you also have bands and cheerleaders, and by the time you do the ambulance
crew too. I do know you got it. Thanks. Yep. I do know that like the Northern Tier is trying to come up with like some guidelines that they're all gonna follow, possibly. It's still just really up in the air, and then if this bill gets passed and if the governor signs it, like there's just still a lot. As you know, with this whole ever since March, we all feel like it's like a day-to-day thing, and we never really know whether something good or bad's gonna happen the next day. So it's just got to be flexible for right now.
It does. I mean, nobody knows really what is the best or most appropriate. So
yeah,
and it's tough because, like we discussed, they're asking like the football team to cut how many people go to the varsity game.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Cut it to
that is something.
25 kids, and we have 40 some.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, you go back and forth. Well, you know, do you cut the band and cheerleaders? And they're like, well, the band doesn't have another time that they can play, so that wouldn't be appropriate. But could some of the cheerleaders do JV? I mean, that's all the stuff that's being discussed, and you know what I mean. But it's tough to, you know.
Yeah, but the football team will only have 25 boys on the field
that we're allowed to have on the field.
Yes.
So.
And that's all that will travel is 25 of the 40 some.
For the varsity games.
For the varsity games.
Yeah.
And then the
JVs will be
JV,
less
same
than
thing.
that.
Less than 25?
Well, it might be 25. I don't
Yeah.
know. Depends. Because some of the sophomores will do both. So.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it is right now. Tiffany, I hope it doesn't get drug out. We as parents want to be able to watch our kids play volleyball. I like the 25%
The only
capacity
thing is,
inside.
It's politics and they drag everything out. You know what I mean? They make a show.
Allow parents. I agree, Tiffany. I think that I don't understand the 25 people. Every other like indoor thing is 25%. For instance, Friday night we were watching Sight and Sound. They live stream. I don't know what word I want to use, but they live streamed it. But in the audience were people spread out in groups of like 3s and 2s and 4s. Like they were obviously family groups spread out in the auditorium. They showed that on camera. So they were probably at 25% capacity because there was space in between all these little pockets of groups in the auditorium. So obviously that facility was allowed to have people in it. Maybe they limited it to 250. I don't know the number. I just saw the people.
Right.
But like I said, restaurants, I know can have 25%. Do you know if movie theaters have opened up?
I don't think ours has. I looked by the other day and I didn't think that it had.
I don't think so. Okay.
But what were we? I forgot. I was going to say something and I forgot. What were we talking about at the beginning of that?
I don't know. Daniel's asking if Shane and Wiggle 100 and the live stream people count in the 250. Yes.
So does the ambulance crew, so do the referees, so do
alignment.
Anybody that is there at the game counts. The statisticians.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what we're going to do on that, if we're going to just not keep the stats at the game but go back and look at the tape and try to get the stats. I don't know. It's going to be tough.
Okay, so Jamie is saying that 25% capacity would still be 250 at our field. She's pretty sure capacity is 1,000. That's risky, increases injuries because of the lack of individuals to play offense, defense. You know what I mean? Yes, John, I agree. We've done it before with small teams, kids playing both offense and defense, but I would definitely feel it increases those chances of injury. Yeah. There's a lot of things. There's been a lot of talk about if a kid gets hurt and there's no parent there, and who makes the decisions, because there's a lot of times.
And I've had that happen to me before.
You've had it happen in JV or junior high games where a parent isn't there.
Well, I had a kid break a collarbone, and then it was like me and then a volunteer coach, and I really can't leave a volunteer coach there. You know what I mean? And so we had him in the trainer's room until the parents arrived, and they were upset with me for not immediately taking him to the hospital. But I had another time with another coach had to ride in the ambulance where a kid wasn't there, where he broke his femur, and It's tough.
It is
I mean,
tough.
it is.
I remember the night that you had to have one of your coaches ride to the hospital because I think when you got home, you drove out to pick him up maybe or something. I don't remember. So I remember that night that he said that, such and such. That was a long time ago. That was many years ago now,
Yeah,
though.
I was coaching JV back then.
Yeah, that was many years ago now.
Yeah.
But, there are incidences where parents can't go, especially junior high and JV, because they start at an earlier time.
Yeah.
Your junior high starts at 4 or 5. I don't remember, but I think JV starts at 5.
I think 5.
So
I think JV's is at 6.
It is hard for parents to make those away games depending on their job situation. So it does happen even outside of COVID where parents aren't at the field necessarily. But
yeah, we had like other stuff where this is different, but like after the scrimmage where we didn't really go through and shake the hands, it was kind of like, take off your helmet, give a wave type thing, and
yes,
so that's a little different. So
yes, so we got to drive up and see my sister's new barn that they're putting up. That was pretty cool. Yeah. Today we did that today after practice,
and we arrived just in time, right after the last truss was up. Yeah, so.
We did.
We timed that out pretty perfect.
We did. We didn't have another time to get up there to help them out this weekend, but they did a great job. So, I told Marissa for away games I would go sit somewhere near the school in case she gets hurt, so I'm not half hour away. Yes, I'm that crazy parent. I've actually said the same thing, Tiffany. I will drive to the town wherever Carter's playing and find a parking lot or maybe a Dunkin' Donut, to sit and listen to it, hopefully on Wiggle, which, by the way, Wiggle is broadcasting the Old Shoe Game Friday night, if anybody would like to listen. There is a website that you go on to listen to Wiggle 100, and it will be live streamed on Facebook. I shouldn't say live streamed because it's not exactly the same as what Canton does.
I think
it's going to be Facebook Live.
I think they're trying to do live stream.
Oh, they still are?
Asked Canton to come over and do it. But I'm not sure if they have the internet speed and stuff to do it. I don't know. It takes a little bit more speed. And it seems like even now, I mean, we ran cables, but there were issues for the scrimmage. I think they had the ads up too long in the way or something. And
that's what.
And it's frustrating when parents are like, well, we're going to see the live stream and then something goes wrong. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
So hopefully the Facebook Live, because I know people will be doing that. And hopefully the live stream will. If not, then you got Wiggle. So.
Yep. And actually, what I used to do is watch it on my phone and listen to Wiggle at the same time.
Right.
Because then you kind of got Shane's play-by-play, but you got to kind of see it. Mm-hmm. Wiggle is also on iHeartRadio app.
Yes.
There you go.
It is.
Sean, thank you. So you've got that option too.
And Wilbur at least sounds like he knows what he's talking about. I got a bust on him because he's my assistant junior high coach. So
yes, tune in. Radio app for a phone works great to listen to Wiggle 100. There you go. You've got 2 different options to listen in. Mm-hmm. And Shane does a good job.
He does. He's been doing it for a while.
He's been doing it for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. So, but you could watch it on Facebook and listen to it on Wiggle. They'll have some commentary on Facebook probably as well. I don't know who or what or how that'll work exactly, but yeah.
It's the Old Shoe Game for us this week, so it's our rivalry game, and
it's really strange.
It is. It's a lot different that it's this week.
So there was,
but it's better to get it in. I mean, I don't want to miss it. If I miss any game of the year, if I only had one game, I'd want it to be that game, regardless. So
I agree. I think a lot of people agree on that. Mm-hmm. So
kids got their helmets. I had to put stickers on for
days. He was sitting there putting
an hour.
It was more than a half an hour.
You're rubbing those stripes on, and the side ones aren't that bad, but those stripes that go down the middle, because all the crevices in the helmets and now, and you get bubbles, and you try to work them out. Bonfire. I don't know if they're going to do the bonfire this early in the week. I don't know if they'll even allow it with.
We're doing
the COVID stuff.
They are doing like Spirit Week, where they're going to be doing like different dress up days and stuff like that. So they are trying to keep some of those traditions still, but I don't know if they'll do the bonfire or not. I'm not sure.
I wonder if they'll do a no mask day.
That's funny.
Probably not.
It is weird. I was at the grocery store, I don't know, this weekend, and there was a couple of guys that had the bandanas tied around. They didn't just have a mask on, they had the bandanas tied around, and I'm like shaking my head, and I'm thinking, these guys are here to rob this store, but they're really not. They're wearing their masks like they're supposed to, but like, it's just hard to wrap your brain around sometimes.
It is.
Like when you see certain things, like the person was totally like wearing their mask. But I was just like, oh my word, I think they're going to rob this. Like that was my first initial instinct. Isn't that weird?
It is weird. You know what I hate? I still hate that I see somebody and I smile at them, and then I realize after I go by,
they can't see you
they
smiling.
can't even see me. I'm such an idiot. You know what I mean? I should start sticking my tongue out or something just to be foolish to make myself laugh.
And then you said like you're having trouble with some of your kids in school.
You can't tell.
Trying to tell who they are exactly.
It is.
And that's another thing. Like you're at a store. This happened to you early on. You think you know who the person is, but they have their mask on, and you get it wrong.
I know I was in the cafeteria and the kids had their masks off to eat, and then it was like, it looked different, you know what I mean? Because they didn't have their mask on, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. You have any conspiracy theories you want to share with it? You haven't really been.
I have not been looking at them because I've been so, but like,
Football
Sunday.
Football starts. I am now football widow. You have
Right.
not been home hardly at all this weekend.
Right.
And we had a long weekend, and I have hardly seen him at
We
all.
had a scrimmage on Saturday, and then Paisley was over, so I didn't want to leave. I usually go over Saturday night and we'd watch some film and do some stuff down at the school. So Sunday I got up. I was down there by 8 o'clock.
You were up early.
I came home for lunch, and then I went back down.
You had a football meeting.
I had a football meeting, got back at like 4.
And then you had the draft.
Yeah. And then, well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking just about doing just the football.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
And then you had a long practice today. Or no? Did I get home first, or did you get home? I don't know.
You got home first because you asked me to stop at the store.
That's right.
But yeah, I had the junior high practice. Well, varsity started at 8 and didn't get done till noon.
Right. By
the time you get done handing out equipment, getting pictures.
Yeah, they handed out
putting all the stickers on the helmets and stuff like that. It took a while. Now, junior high, we practiced from 9 to 10:30.
Oh, okay.
Our big thing is we labor on Labor Day. That's what the football team says. We labor on Labor Day.
What does that mean?
That even though we're supposed to have the day off, we're still laboring.
Laboring. Just keep giving them snacks so they don't have to wear the masks. The kiddos.
Oh, there we go.
At school. Just keep giving them snacks so they don't have to wear the mask.
All over the place.
How has it been going with the kids having like their own personal water bottles? Has that been going well or not well, or don't you really notice?
Well, I had a girl on, I think it was Friday morning. She sat down, put her water bottle on it, tipped over, it fell, it hit the ground, it broke.
Oh no.
And then ice and water was everywhere.
Oh no.
So that's going to happen probably more often now.
Was it glass?
Plastic.
Oh.
And the lid just smashed.
Oh, the lid broke. Okay.
Yeah,
when you said it broke, I was thinking glass.
Yeah,
like,
so that was one of the experiences with a water bottle in the classroom. So,
yeah.
Yeah, but they've been doing okay with the water bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Though they don't want to fill them up in the room. They want to go out to the fancy water-filling fountains that we have now.
Are they fancy?
Well, you put the water bottle underneath and push the button, and then it, fills it up. So
that's cool.
Where it's the same water as from the sink.
Right, but it's cooler. I get it.
They want to go out to the water fountain and do it.
Yeah.
Because that water's better.
Of course
it's
it is.
Not. It's the same exact water. But they say it's better.
It's magic water that helps you.
Magic water.
Helps you remember things better for your tests and stuff.
Oh, okay. We'll see.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we had Friday. The 6th graders did not get their 6th grade picnic.
Yes.
So we actually took the 7th grade class.
Yes.
Out.
And tell them what you did.
Yeah, I do what I usually do in the picnic. I went out and pitched the softball, and with my bad knee trying to move around and stuff, I came home, I was pretty sore.
You were very sore.
I was very sore. I tried
very,
moving
sore.
quickly a few times to try. You know how it is. I pitch and then they hit a short grounder, And I've got to run up and try to make a play with a bum knee. So yes, I hobbled around when I got home that night. So
You did. You were in.
It has been feeling a little bit better.
I was just going to say, you haven't been hobbling around quite as badly
It's been
lately.
feeling a little bit better, yeah.
And what are we on, like week 2 or 3? Since you've had that done?
Yep. So yeah.
Jamie says that she loves that you could do that with the 7th graders. Thanks.
Yeah, one last time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They did. They missed out on
Though I
some
was
things,
talking
so
to quite a few of them about, like, why aren't you out for junior high football?
Give it
Some of them as well, you know, the COVID, I don't want to wear a mask on the sidelines. And I'm not even sure what the rule is on that. And so, no, some of them didn't this year, and we're low on numbers.
Yeah.
Real low on numbers. But I didn't have enough stickers for the helmets, so I got through this year. So
You did have, or
I
you
did.
did not?
I did.
You did have. When is your first junior high game? Is it the same week?
It's the same week as
the week after the Troy?
Yes.
Then you start?
It's going to be not this week, but the following Thursday.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yep. Kate, she said, so glad you got to do that with the 7th graders. Katie loved it. Yeah. It was one of those traditions that
Usually do at the
they
end of
always
6th
do
grade.
with the 6th grade. So they couldn't keep all the traditions, but they could at least give them
we
one.
couldn't even really say goodbye to the kids last year. It's like, you're out of the school, and hey, you're not coming back. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So it was nice that you guys were able to do that. Mm-hmm. Who watched your classroom for the afternoon? What did they do down in?
They went back down to the 5th grade. Well, they did something with some other special teachers.
Oh, okay.
And then they went like for an hour and a half with the 5th grade
Okay.
teachers.
To kind of say goodbye.
Everybody did, but I think they had to have somebody else come in and watch the kindergarten. So yeah, it was different.
I'm curious how kindergarten is making out with all the new changes and everything.
Daniel, is my cousin listening to you during football? Yes, he's listening. He's struggling a little bit. He's hobbling. I don't know if he's got shin splints or what, but he's. Well, one time today I looked over and I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He said, "I fell down. My legs are hurting." I said,
Aw.
"Okay, so yeah."
Aw.
You know, the ground's a little hard this year and rough and stuff, and I don't know.
See,
somebody that hasn't played before, they're not used to that.
I would not make a good football coach because I'd be like, why don't you just sit down for a little while and just chill?
I
would not make a good football coach. I would feel bad.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do it. Why I don't. I'd be too.
I usually, get up, you'll be fine, this and that. And then if it's something serious, I think I have the trainer look at it. So yeah.
All right, are we coming up on 40 minutes?
We are at 9:37.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're pretty close.
We are pretty close.
Yep.
What else do we have to talk about?
Oh, we could probably talk about a lot of things. Our plants dying out front because they haven't had a chance to water them.
Our plants are dead out front, and
They're
I meant
dead.
to get out there and like kind of get them ripped out because I
They're
have
dead.
mums coming, so we can put. If we could take out the old plants, then I can put the mums in the pots.
I used to water them every morning when I was
I never got
coming
around
home
to
from
it
walking,
today.
but now that we're at school, I don't have the time to do it. And by the time I get home from football practice, I just walk in the door, get something to eat, and sit in a chair and try not to fall asleep instantly. So, yeah.
Yep.
But another week.
Yes. This will be week 2 of
The school, and we'll see how the kids are
See
coming
how the
back
kids
after the
go.
long weekend.
yeah.
I'm kind of glad they had a long weekend right after the first week, especially with the masks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
I agree. It was a nice long weekend. You just were gone a lot.
I was going a lot.
You was
Football
gone.
seasons, it's
Football season's tough.
it takes a lot of time, and I usually get caught up about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's just, there's certain things you'd
Well,
like
and
to
even
do
when
at the
you're
school,
here,
but you don't
you're-
have time.
Even when you are here, you're
Nah,
talking
yeah.
about it or thinking about it or texting
Yeah.
about it or calling parents or like just
Something.
yeah.
Yep, it's just always something to think about and ideas, and To be honest, it's a lot of worry about stuff. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
like, there's normal things you have to worry about.
Yes.
Like, do we have the bus thing planned? What do we have to get around in case somebody forgets something at the game? But then this year it's, the whole COVID thing. Tyler trying to figure out, what 25
players
do
are
I
going.
take, and stuff like that.
And yeah.
I agree.
Tiffany,
we should
I
have a
agree. 3-day weekend every weekend.
I agree.
I would be on board
100%.
for that. Now, it wasn't this weekend, but the last holiday
I would
weekend,
even be willing to work longer days for 4 days.
Right.
And get a 3-day weekend.
Whatever weekend, I think must have been 4th of July weekend when I had a 3-day weekend. I felt like I ran all weekend. And so by the time it was ready to go back to work Tuesday, I was exhausted. I was like, I need another week. I was exhausted because I hadn't taken any time to
happens a lot
just
of times, though.
relax.
We get so much like this weekend. It's
been one thing after another.
The football, and then the football draft, and then the practices today. Yeah, it went
scrimmage.
That's what I was. Yeah, the scrimmage on Saturday, and then yesterday was all writing up plays and watching videotape from. We don't have videotape from Troy this year, so I had to watch like every last year game that I had, which was like 6 of them, and write down plays and.
Yep.
Whew, it was tough.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
But we got it done. And I have no idea because we couldn't get tape on Troy because their scrimmage got canceled.
Yes.
Because somebody in South Williamsport had COVID, so they got down there, found out about it, and then had to come back.
Yeah.
So that stinks.
And I read an article this morning that said that colleges are having a lot of outbreaks and that governors are asking colleges to not send kids back home when they're tested positive.
Just
so
wait at
apparently
school
colleges,
for 10 days and get over it. Why send it somewhere else?
Well, apparently they haven't been doing that. They've been sending kids home after they test positive, which then could spread it to that, that
It's
community.
a lot easier to isolate kids at school.
if you're
Well,
sick-
I guess I don't know if it is or not because kids.
If you're sick, you want to go home. Let's just face it. When you were sick in college, which didn't happen very often.
I was home every weekend. I had to
know.
work every weekend.
That's true.
When I was in college, it was about having money to survive, so I had to work every weekend just to pay for college.
We both came home and worked every
Yes.
weekend. I think I stayed down one weekend to
I
study
think
for
in
exams.
my 4 years, I may have stayed. Well, my first year wrestling, I stayed down a few because I wrestled that year.
Yeah.
My freshman year. And then after that, it wasn't.
Jamie said her nephews can't come home at all. If they do, they can't go back.
Oh, yeah.
I literally read an article, and I can repost it, that said that actually President Trump was sending letters to governors telling the governors to tell colleges to keep the kids on the campus if they got sick. So they were sent. There was colleges sending kids home.
Now, I did
they got
see
sick.
that Tennessee football had like 40-some kids that had COVID.
That's what I'm hearing a lot.
It's going to go around. People are going to get it.
Yeah.
That's
No, I'm
how
hearing
it is.
colleges are having widespread.
Well, you have somebody come in from an area that had it, and that it's going to spread. But they're like the least likely to die from it. You know what I mean?
They're still not feeling well.
And
though.
the thing is, you have medical staff there on the college. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
And you're away from the elderly. It might be a better place to be.
I remember when I got sick in college, like I didn't even want to get up and go get food. Of course, the college I went to, you didn't have like a kitchenette or anything. You had to like go get food someplace, and I didn't even want to get out of bed
The
to go get
college
food,
that
and I
you-
had to go to the store to even buy like cold medicine.
You
like
couldn't
NyQuil and
be at a
stuff.
better place for being sick than where you were.
But you can't just go in the hospital because you have like
But
the
if you
flu.
are in your deathbed, they will take you right there. It's the
But
hospital.
I wasn't
right
on my
there.
deathbed. I just was not feeling good, but I still had to get out of bed and drive myself to go get like flu medicine.
There's a ladybug on my ceiling. Seriously?
Where?
Right there in that light.
Oh, yeah. I see it.
I hope there's not a bunch of them.
We probably do. If you have one, you probably have a bunch of them. because that's just the way it goes.
That's the only one I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Be waking up with a bunch of ladybugs in the bed. Woohoo! Okay.
I don't like that kind of stuff. Just so you know.
Yep.
There was flies in our room that one night.
And I sucked them all up with a vacuum.
I think we told that story
We
already.
did. Okay, honey, it's the day of the Lord, or it was yesterday, so it's your turn to pray.
All right, and we'll be back Wednesday night.
Yep,
So
2
it'll
days.
be a quick turnaround.
Woo!
We'll have to come up with some stories to tell or some
Yeah, I'm sure I can
conversations to
fall
have.
down the stairs or something by then. You know how it is with me. I got something going on.
Well, we'll be close to the old shoe game, so maybe we can reminisce a little bit about some old shoe
Yeah,
game
I might be throwing
trivia.
up or something.
Trivia. Why? Because you're
Old
nervous?
shoe trivia?
Are you nervous?
I'm always nervous for the old shoe. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, honey.
All right.
Go ahead. You're up.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you right now for each person that has watched this video and will watch this video, Lord. And I just thank you right now that you would help them find their path and their purpose in life, Lord Jesus. I pray that as we walk this life, Lord, that you would open doors and close doors that we are to walk through or not walk through. And I just thank you right now that you are our creator and that you have created all things. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen. All right. I'm going
Princess
to bed.
Wave.
I'm so tired. Are we
I'm
doing
not
the
going to
Princess
bed
Wave?
yet, but yeah, I'm tired. So.
I'm exhausted. All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll
Yep.
see you Wednesday.